Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Exalted Scarf Cast, number around 40, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome, people. Welcome, people. I don't know what we're actually discussing tonight, so everything will be a surprise.
Well, it's a surprise to him, well, for the most part.
Everything is a surprise.
uh, let's just say, alright. Let's start with the shit you made me watch on Friday. Actually, just so you could see what I'm showing everyone else, I'll probably, let's see if I can actually put my screen onto here for you at least. But yeah,
Yeah, give me a sec, man. I'm making sure. What did I show you? Blah blah
it
blah.
is that goddamn Cinderella
Oh,
musical.
crack. Yeah. No.
The
Okay.
son-
Okay. All right. I am sorry. I lost a bet, and things were made.
I
And
yeah, but yeah,
Shang-Chi wasn't available on streaming. So decisions were made. I will admit, some of it is my fault. But isn't it really society's fault?
for those of you who are wondering, that's the fairy godmother in this version of Cinderella.
Yeah, nah, this
Yeah,
fairy god.
while we saw that, we were just thinking, it's like, you know what? They should have just gone with it and just went with Chris. Ah, dang it! Where was it? Chris Tucker.
That
They
would have been cool.
they look very much alike when you get right down to it. I mean, you might as well go whole ham with it. But holy shit, dude! This is why I titled this stream "The Best They Have to Offer," because this is it. I mean, I walked in and I saw that everyone was watching this thing, and I was going hearing all the songs, and I'm just thinking, it's like, when was this made? Was this around the '90s or so?
It's a very shoddy production, honestly. Um, I'll say this with the movie, just to give my thoughts on it, totally here. Alright, so I saw the entire film, and we mostly saw it because we saw ads for it on Amazon. So we just thought it would be kind of a bit of a gag to watch it. You know.
Yeah, and it just made you wish you were watching Cthulhu Rock Opera of Doom again. I,
Yes, actually.
actually, I should probably make a video of that for Halloween.
Something. Anyway, what happened with this whole thing, and I'll just be honest, was that it was just like, okay, we'll watch it and we'll just, make fun of it or something. Nothing too out there. You know, it was not like this was gonna be like some major. Yeah, no, this film is shockingly bad. I didn't realize it was a jukebox musical uh, till like we started the film. For people who don't know, a jukebox musical is a type of musical where they use songs that are already available, like pop songs, and have the musical based around that.
Yeah, it was all pop songs. That's why I
Like,
thought. It's like, man, this seems like dated. It's like it must have came out around like either '90s or early 2000s or so.
nope. It is using classics. I think the best musical in the entire film is The Prince's "Somebody to
Yeah.
Love."
Oh my god.
Like,
I was thinking, it's like it was on the level of Moulin Rouge.
uh, I no Moulin Rouge was actually
It's actually better
OP.
than this.
Like I will not have Moulin Rouge slander. Look, a jukebox musical can work.
But yeah, well, Moulin Rouge kind of did the same thing where they had like modern music in like in and then offsetting.
Oh yeah, a lot of a lot of things that do that to an
Yeah.
extent.
Even the recent Greatest Showman kind of did that, but at least they came up with their own songs.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you know the show Deadwood, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay. You know how like Deadwood's famous for all the cursing and stuff.
Yeah.
The showrunners basically explained it. It's that they're not actually saying that, but that's because here's the thing: our more severe curses did not exist back then. So they wanted to get the point of, like, um, oh, this was what it was like back in the day. And, so they didn't want to go for old timey curses.
Yeah,
The
it's
writers,
a little bit more immersive in a way.
yeah, again, and there's good reasons to sometimes use pop songs like that to kind of get the point of this was what they thought of as the big thing. Again, there's reasons to do it, but this movie isn't that great. For one thing, there's way too many characters. This is just like a 2-hour film, and
Yeah, and it kept going around like all these different kinds of characters.
like for some reason, the prince has like a sister who's like, "I'm gonna take over the kingdom. I want to be queen." And it's like, oh god. And here's the thing. My issue with her whole character is that
Oh, by the way, I wish James Bond was in this movie. I wish the
that
king
truly is.
was James Bond instead of, the actor that played James Bond.
Yeah, you can tell what crowd this is made for because they made a joke about his singing. If for people who don't know, uh, Pierce Brosnan starred in Mamma Mia a couple years ago, and he was kind of, and he was criticized for his really bad singing, so they have a joke about it in the film. Yeah, that's the type of film we're kind of dealing with it here, like that crowd.
Yeah.
So the big thing about this film, though, and the reason why it's just not that good, is mostly down to just bad production values, inconsistencies in setting.
I've
It
lost
tries to
count
be
as to how
very.
many times I described it as a high school Renaissance fair production.
It really does feel that. Actually, I feel like a high school Renaissance production would at least be a little more period accurate.
Oh, definitely.
Um, and here's the thing, like this is also like a setting with like sea monsters and fantasy creatures, and oh my god, this feels like a rejected Disney script because you wanna know why?
Yeah.
Um, so the mice, the
Yeah, the
mice.
mice turned into a trio of neckbeards for some reason.
Well, here's the thing, the mice are only in the Disney version. You know,
Well,
those aren't like those aren't like something that's in the like that's like a Disney thing. That's not a
yeah, it's not in the original story.
yeah like if it was in the original story, that's one thing, but it's
Yeah, this is their like recreation of the Disney version. And yeah, it is padded. I mean, I remember we saw the resolution, and then we looked at the timestamp. It's like there's still like 20 or 30 minutes left. It's like
I
what?
think one of the things they want to try to do is that's like they wanted to do that whole thing of oh it's not we don't yeah look Snow White chooses her career and love, blah blah. Like there's definitely attempts to be that type of subversive, like BuzzFeed targeted, like
Yeah, it looks
no,
like it was targeted towards BuzzFeed. Uh,
It definitely has a feel as a production.
yeah, it's a movie that just doesn't even know what it wants to be. It doesn't know whether it wants to be like a period piece or a modern piece. In fact, I think it would have done better if it was much more of a modern setting.
I
'Cause,
agree.
yeah, the whole like medieval accurate setting just doesn't. It feels way off. You could have done the same thing that Macbeth did, where they just set it in modern times and just had the royalty be of a rich celebrity class. Although in Macbeth, it's like the royalty was really just of a mobster class. Yeah, Disney already did a remake of their version. And it's better than this adapted.
Yeah, no, it's more forgettable to an extent, but definitely was a better film. I'll tell you that.
It was far less cringe. And that was the other thing. It's like the, I mean, the attire, the the structures and buildings, all of it just kept throwing me off because I didn't know which period this was supposed to take place in.
It took place in all the periods. Ethan.
I mean, I didn't know whether to expect like an actual legitimate, like fully armored knight or just guys with muskets.
Well, we can't be like it's very like as weird as it is to say why are we expecting anything like period accurate out of something like this? It's like one of those things of it feels more school play than it should be, in my opinion.
Wait a minute,
And
Macbeth was were struggling fast food employees. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I might watch that.
I am now curious because it's like, gee, I wonder how he gets his better position. Does he kill his manager?
He is the better position.
But I mean, the good thing that came out of this is that it kind of reminded me of the of like what I've been putting my own creative juices towards, which is just coming up with like an Afrocentric medieval fantasy setting because it's like the fairy godmother, the very fairy godmother, kind of reminded me of an African vampire that just turns into a fly
Yeah,
in order to sneak around places.
yeah. No, there are some kind of cool ideas here and there, but like it just feels like a very undercooked movie to me. You know?
Yeah, it is just yeah. I mean, I figure it's like I talk about this because it's like I don't think we're doing a review on this one,
No, I don't want to do a review on this one. It's
and
just
it
kind
is
of
still fresh in our minds.
it's just kind of a bad, boring movie, honestly. And here's the thing: I actually looked it up, and I was shocked that the main singer, the Cinderella, is actually a pop star because I thought she was so bad. I was like, oh wow, honey, you can't sing, and apparently, like she has like a couple number one hits. So I was like, oh,
You sure it
maybe
wasn't a YouTube pop star?
they have a discography. Maybe they have like YouTube
Oh,
music.
Shadow Soldier. We were talking about the new Cinderella musical
Cinderella dressed in yellow.
that came out on Amazon, and it was horrendous. And it had, yeah, this is our fairy godmother, which really looks like they should have just brought in Ruby Rod and went whole ham with it. Bring in
Yeah,
Chris Tucker to just do the Ruby Rod bit, because that's essentially what he is.
basically. And it's not like the worst thing ever, but it's not a good film, at least in my estimation, and that's ultimately how I feel about it. It's maybe like if it was given like a decent-ish budget or maybe a bit more. But I don't know. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it just felt like crap. It's like the songs weren't that great. The music wasn't that good.
The songs were
It
just taken off of pop music. You know,
yeah,
I mean, if we did that for any of the Exalted Speed videos, we would be like, we would be copyright struck like a motherfucker.
we
I
have been copyright struck like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's why I stopped using music, and also mostly why I stopped doing credit sequences because it's like I think by now everyone knows who works on those videos.
Yeah.
It's just two of us.
To be fair, I do make references to you every so often in the videos too.
Yes, it's like that's our credits.
Me making references.
So, granted, it's like if we get bigger and then we start a Patreon, it's like I'll be more than happy to put like a list of Patreon supporters as part
If
of a credit
we
sequence. But that's
we
for
go,
like another thing.
I don't really want to do like Patreons like we have like 1,000 people at least.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Hey, we're still growing.
Yeah. So, um,
Strange Magic was better film adaptation of another story than the Cinderella film. Yeah.
you're not wrong.
Oh my god. It's like, they didn't know what setting they wanted to take. They just wanted to do pop songs. It was a culmination of everyone doing TikTok videos made into a movie. Just everyone wanting to do their TikTok songs, so they decided to okay, let's just make a movie out of this and wear like Renaissance costumes or Renaissance fair costumes.
Definitely was something. I'll tell you that. Um,
All right, what was? Uh, all right, just one sec. I'm going to switch us over to. I mean, we've said all we needed to say, right, about this whole like thing.
I don't know what else to say on it because here's the thing: I could talk about how horrifying James Corden's the mouse is, but it's James Corden. Everybody knows he's horrifying.
Well,
Uh,
anyways,
so we're talking about Coyote Ragtime show, aren't we?
no, I'm just gonna switch over to the next thing, which is what everyone's
No,
talking
we're
about.
talking about Coyote Ragtime show.
What in the chat?
No, I'm
Oh,
not calling it by its name. We're talking about Coyote Ragtime show.
all right, go on.
All right. Okay, I made my response to this whole thing. And if for people who don't know, Coyote Ragtime Show is an actual anime. It's real. Uh, it is vaguely similar to another popular anime that got very popular on Adult Swim that I love, have the DVDs of, have the soundtrack of, want the Spike Spiegel action figure, and various other things. I have opinions on this whole thing, but I'm going to not call it by its name in relation to the Netflix show. Yep, Coyote Ragtime show. I'm
Fine, I'll put a picture up as a representation.
Thank you. Okay.
I mean,
All right, all right.
my attitude. I mean, I haven't really religiously watched the show all that much, or much other anime TV shows all that much.
Okay, let me
The
put it
only
this
ones
way.
I've watched like fully was Higurashi and I in Death Note, I guess. But as far as I can tell, this is just Netflix kind of being Netflix right now, where it's like, oh, another live action of an anime. How many times have we gone through this? We've had Dragon Ball Evolution, Death Note, Ghost in the Shell, Alita, which actually, from what I've heard, is actually pretty good.
Alita's really good.
Yeah,
Um,
Uh, I'm just thinking, it's like, gee, I just can't wait till they make a live action Netflix adaptation of Graveyard of the Fireflies.
there is actually a terrible live action of it.
Oh dear.
It's a Japanese one though, so but
Yeah, I'm
honestly,
talking Netflix version.
uh, honestly, it is kind of a bit next Netflixy. Because the thing about the live action version is that it was meant to promote an actress idol, so they ended up focusing on the aunt who plays her. So it's like,
Not a
you
story
know,
you want to do that in, actually.
the aunt who abandons them because and stuff like. Mhm. It's one of those things of like well, at the end of the day, it's the whole thing is the actress had some comments about her character, who is hold it. Let me look up her name. Um, not the actress's name. I think her name is Danielle Pandila. Anyway, she had some things about not being able to wear a costume for fight scenes and stuff, and it's like, here's the thing. He has worn skimpy clothes like that in other shows.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we still going on to like Cowboy Bebop levels?
Yes, we are talking about Coyote Ragtime show.
Yeah, the Coyote Ragtime levels. Yeah, we
Yeah.
all caught that. That's the thing. It's like she keeps going on. It's like how there's like the clothing would tear off if it was too tight, or it's like it just wouldn't work. It's like, girl, not only have have female athletes worn skimpy clothing as required for a lot of athletic stuff, including MMA fights, as well as pro wrestling. They wore much skimpier outfits for there, and you could probably get a wrestling diva to do all the stunts in
Oh
this
yeah,
in this
easily.
thing. But she's worn this. Granted, it is somewhat Photoshop, but trust me, they only Photoshop the colors just to prove the point.
No, like I've seen the original colors.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it was purple.
yeah, it was purple. Blah blah blah. She did it for a show called Detour.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, a lot of people point out, and I'll rightly point out, yeah, no, she could easily do it, no issue. So it just was kind of just funny that this was a thing. So yeah, I'm just a little ticked if I'm being honest. Because here's the thing, I think Netflix did that deliberately to get controversy and attention. Because I'm just gonna be honest, they haven't even released actual footage from the show yet.
Exactly. I mean, that's
But the
why I'm
one
focusing on more on like the live action adaptation in general. How this is like becoming a thing. Hell, it's been a thing for like stuff that technically wasn't anime, like Avatar: The Last
no,
Airbender.
you wanna know what got officially revealed today on Netflix? This weekend on Netflix Twitter.
What, Bleach?
No, they're doing a live action adaptation of One Piece.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that reminds me of another joke that I had. Is like I mean, at least with anime, we know that this thing that generally it will eventually end, unless your anime begins with one and ends with peace.
Dude, there are actually anime that have been going on since the '60s that actually haven't ended.
Yeah, but that's the one that everyone knows.
I know, but like for people who say like things never end, we're still getting Kitaro adaptations. We're still getting fucking Doraemon, Apanamon. Like a lot of people think anime just
Okay,
ends.
who the fuck is Kataro?
Kitaro. So have you ever heard of yokai?
Oh yeah, I know what yokai is.
So so there's this anime, I believe it's translated to, it's called Gigiki no Kitaro. And it's about a yokai boy and his wacky adventures with his yokai pals. It started in the '60s and was popular by and it was very popular with a lot of different like Japanese kids. And it inspired people to look into yokai folklore. And it's the reason why yokai folklore is actually used a lot today because it used to be very lost.
Yeah, but well, that's the thing I'm getting at. Is like a lot of this stuff hardly anyone knows about unless it's a Shonen Jump thing that kids watch all the time. I mean,
I'm just
everyone
look,
it's like everyone knows Dragon Ball because it's like kids watch that all the time. Everyone knows One Piece because kids watch that all the time. Actually, I think Dragon
uh,
Ball is another one that's still kind of going on.
there, dude, the super manga is still ongoing at this point. Like, yeah, like, dude, there's like a huge like Dragon Ball never really stopped. Like, there's been like no new anime, but like, like a lot of people think Dragon Ball ended. It kind of did, but it went. It's on a long time. There's always new material, honestly. At this point, it's more fair to say that Dragon Ball has more in common with an American comic book than it does manga.
Yeah. Although I've been more of a fan of 80s style anime. I mean,
Yeah, but I no, I get
but
it.
most of those is like people probably haven't heard of. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever heard of Lensman. You have, because I know you.
Lensman, how could I know about the series that probably inspired Green Lantern and is probably unavailable because of relationship with the estate of Dr. E. Smith not liking the anime and possibly losing rights to it because of model kits and the like. And the only time we're probably going to go see the anime at any point is when Lensman falls into the public domain, and it's okay to release it. And also that Lensman was pioneer in the CGI on television in anime form.
Oh yeah,
How do I don't know a thing about it, man.
yeah. This is the guy. This is the guy I hang out with. And I've also enjoyed Vampire Hunter D. I've also enjoyed Dominion Tank Police, Eight Man.
Dominion Tank Police is classic.
Yeah, Eight Man After.
Eight Man After is classic too. The original mangaka for Eight Man actually made a Batman manga, believe it or not.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. When people ask me, it's like, what do I think of when I think of cyberpunk? It's like I just point to Eight Man. It's like there you go.
when I think of cyberpunk, as I think of clearly Bubblegum Crisis. Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
that one too.
Um, yeah. Inspired by one of my favorite movies of all time, Streets of Fire.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, I love Streets of Fire. It ends
Robot
with a
Carnival.
Robot Carnival's good shit. Has some of my favorite shorts in anime, actually.
Yeah, I do miss those too. I miss being able to get up in the morning and watch Ronin Warriors with our
Ronin
kick-ass,
War.
kick-ass theme song.
The powers in the armor.
Oh yeah, speaking of kick-ass songs, it's like I always loved Venus Wars.
Oh wow! Now that was a major like money loser for the anime studio.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I still love the anime.
Oh no, Venus Wars is good. I love the director's work so much. That guy was the guy who directed it was the original character designer for Gundam.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
and he also created shows like Giant Gork, and I also have his manga Gundam: The Origin. Love Yaz's work. He is so fucking cool. Yes,
But yeah, I have a
yes, I
feeling they're
love.
gonna. It's like Netflix or Hollywood are gonna eventually start pillaging those for remakes.
Well, Gundam has actually been is getting a movie on Netflix later, but you know.
Well, we've seen
Yeah.
a live action FMV game made off of Gundam. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I showed you it.
that one was special. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, there was a Gundam live action
Gun,
FMV game.
it's called Gundam 0079 War for.
I mean, it does follow the story very closely. I mean, closer than any other adaptation that I could ever imagine. It's just that it has live actors.
It does follow it very well, very much. It has Bright Noah, Ryu, Kai, Char Aznable, I guess. It also has Garma. Blame the folly of your youth. Oh god, that entire movie is just special.
Oh yeah,
I love it, but it's special. It's terrible.
it's
Um,
terrible, but it was amusing.
I guess I gotta show you the actual Gundam live action movie G Savior sometime.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so back in the 2000s for Gundam's anniversary, they had mhm, uh, uh, they have this guy like okay, just if you want to see what G Savior looks like, just type in G Savior.
All right.
Um, G Savior was a special project. So it was made during the Gundam anniversary and was meant to celebrate it. It showed up in the anime at one point, but just type in movie. Da, da, da,
Because I'm just getting figurines here.
Yeah, it's special. So it was a Canadian production with early CGI and stuff.
Yeah, who could
And
say no
they,
to that face?
I know, right? And one of the weirdest things about it is that it also takes place in the UC timeline of all things. Uh, one of the definitely one of the odder productions. It's also the only original Sunrise project that goes farther into UC without Tomino's involvement. It's a fucking awful movie. Like if well, okay, it's kind of more boring, but it is. Yeah, it's special.
Yeah, special with mouths wide open kind of special apparently.
With what? With mouth wide open.
Why is everyone yelling at every live action actor pick? I mean, I know
Oh
it's
yeah,
anime, but does it have to be that kind of anime?
yes,
I mean, what do they have Shinji directing everyone?
yes.
Uh, this is reminds me of the good old days of AMVs where everything was just Evangelion and Linkin Park.
Oh well, it's Dragon Ball and Linkin Park. Actually, the fun thing about Linkin Park is that a lot of people associate them with they associate them with like Dragon Ball. They were Gundam fans. Like you can actually see Gunpla on some of their videos, and they actually also have their own Gunpla band I made for them. My goal is to eventually get that piece of Gunpla and build it because I want to say I have an official Linkin Park Gundam.
Oh, yeah.
Look, we all have dreams. We all have dreams, Scarfy, and my dream is to have a Linkin Park Gundam. It's what Chester would have wanted.
Yeah.
But like, you know, honestly, it like I'm, but still, like, yeah, it's just kind of fun. I just kind of find funny at this point. Like I said, just hey, we got ourselves we got ourselves all this jazz here.
Well, and, but yeah. No segue. I'm just gonna bring it up. And now for the next thing that seems to be the best our entertainment has to offer: Saints Row 5 reboot. Well, Saints Row 5 is a reboot and it's coming next year. Now, have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, I seen the trailer for it. I did watch it because I was curious after a while. I'm not exactly the biggest Saint Rose fan ever, but I can only describe the new trailer as wow.
Yeah,
Something
apparently
on
it's starring two dudes, Steve Urkel and Daria in her goth phase.
No, here's the thing. I watched the trailer. You know the girl who you say is Daria in her goth phase?
Who is she supposed to be? I'm just looking at it, and I've seen the trailer. I'm just making jokes here.
I understand, but she's basically a ripoff of like what's the main character from Fast and Furious. She's a car nut who's all about family.
Oh my fucking
Um,
god, that's her character?
yeah, that's her fucking
I'm
character,
surprised they didn't put John Cena in this.
dude. Like one of the characters is like, I'm gay and I want to be a TV chef. Like, the fuck is this? Pork Porktown, USA? Oh, look at me! I have
It's,
quirky, relatable characters, aren't I? Cool.
I mean, and I get that a lot of people are saying it's like, well, Saints Row has always been kind of like this weird and quirky stuff. It's like, no, it was actually edgy. In fact, it was
No.
edgy comedy that was around when GTA was trying to be more serious. Saints Row came
Look,
out at the same time as GTA. What was it? 4 or so?
look. It was it was an offensive game, and that's fine. Uh,
Yeah, and
like
most of the offensive jokes were coming from Gats.
I hate to say it, but like also they can't really claim that this is going back to like how the first games were. The first games were just as profane. Honestly, it's just as it went on. Like I understand like why they're rebooting the franchise.
I mean, yeah, I have the first few games. They are very edgy in terms of their humor, and they were actually jokes. It wasn't just it was just quirky. It was actual jokes. They had jokes in there. Oh, it's like that time. It was like that dude was lighting his cigarette from a burning corpse, and the other guy was just looking at him, going like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, no, like I'm look. Saints Row basically is now just terrible, and I accept it. Just fuck this whole thing.
Yeah, it's just not to mention it's like
And
there were, and I think it was in the. I'm trying to remember if it was the second or third game where you had a shootout in a fetish club, which led into a car chase that wasn't really using cars. It was just using chariots that were pulled by gimps.
yeah.
It had crazy shit in the earlier games,
Hmm.
and some crazy violent shit. I mean, I remember 2 got dark, where it's like you kidnapped a guy's girlfriend just to trick him into crushing her alive in a monster truck rally.
Yes.
It and then it went back to humorous yet again in I think it was Saints Row 3. where it was more like a party than anything else. I mean, you had freaking luchadors, you had the mini games where you had to fend off a tiger while driving.
I hate the fact that they're trying to show like a definitive version. You know, like I'll say like the other games at the very least kind of made it genericized enough where it's like, there wasn't like a canon version of the boss, but this one feels like, nope, here's the voice actors for the boss. And I'm like,
Yeah, the boss was customizable.
yeah. So it's like, why are you doing this?
Not to mention, I think Saints Row 4 was probably a good place to cap it off. You don't need to make another one.
Well,
I mean,
you
especially
know,
for the boss. I mean, you had a good enough like rise to
I feel
power
like
where
we
he just
probably
starts off as just a plug that the previous gang leader just calls player, just as a nod to the fact that he's the player character. Then he becomes a boss. Then he becomes an even bigger boss. Then he becomes the goddamn president,
yeah.
and then a leader of an intergalactic empire.
Yes.
I mean, from there, it's like, where do you even go from there?
You know, I understand them wanting to reboot it. One of my big issues with the game too is that they're also removing jokes from the game that like they're also like a couple of the like iconic locations that were like jokes, have also
Oh
been taken out
yeah,
and censored. So
but yeah, it's like they're toning it down and trying to quirk it up to try to
yeah,
catch the whole Fortnite crowd.
they're trying to become the Fortnite.
God help us if they ever put a Martin Luther King speech in there.
Fuck.
Oh, by the way, that's
Now
already come to pass, right? Hasn't it?
I think so, but I don't want to check because I'll just be honest. Okay, so they tried to remove all the offensive emotes, but they couldn't remove one. You want to know what it was?
What was it?
So, okay, I'm just gonna describe this. This has in relation to do with DC Comics. Okay, there's a Catwoman emote, and what is Catwoman famous for using? I want you to
Uh,
think about this. I'm gonna say, if you use it, it often has a crack to it.
a whip? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Ugh.
If you don't know this,
Yeah.
why I would not ever do something like this in a game. Like this. Like, I know they're basically like, we need to educate people. We have like a lot of kids. No, no, no. You're the playtime distraction. You shouldn't be the educator.
Exactly, guys. I mean, but then again, much like every pedophile on the block, they're gonna go straight to where the kids are.
Yes, they.
I mean, for crying out loud, guys, just let kids be kids and enjoy their stuff. You don't need
Well,
you don't need to raise them. I mean, that's kind of what parents are supposed to be there for.
look, I know they wanted to have this cool educational thing, and I'm sure somebody was like, yeah, that'll give us good press, but it's like, you're not the game. Like, know your limits.
And why not bring back, real edutainment stuff?
Well, we tried to bring back Bill 9, that didn't exactly work.
I'm I'm talking about like stuff like Number Munchers, Operation Neptune, Mario teaches typing. Hell, even typing of the dead.
Well, he
Oregon
started typing.
Trail.
I thought you said Wario teaches typing, and now I'm just like,
Oh,
and
Wario
I'm just
teaches typing would have been even better. It would be the edgier version of Mario teaches typing.
the edgy version. Wow, everything, every M is replaced with a W.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if games should be teaching kids anything, it should be teaching kids skills, not morality.
Um,
Morality is like, it's something that's relative depending on where you are.
Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
what you may think is empowering over here could probably get you beheaded over in, well, Afghanistan at this rate.
yeah, basically, at this point, it's like, well, unless you're that one British dude who was able to,
Yeah, unless you're Lord Miles.
yeah. So I'm just saying, you know,
And I like how our president's still saying it's like, well, we accomplished our goals. Yeah, wasn't our other goal to stop people from getting weapons of mass destruction? I think you kind of
yes.
did the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you live and learn.
Live in.
But yeah, but yeah, this is what we're gonna end up with in like,
A
well,
couple
at least
years.
our games from in the kind of games we're getting from Volition. 'Cause I'm pretty sure Saints Row is still owned by Volition.
Yeah. At this point, I think that's pretty much it for what we got this week. But yeah, no, but that's been your controversy news for this week. Your
Well,
stupid.
one more bonus controversy.
What else do we have? What else do we have?
In China, kids are limited to playing video games for only 3 hours per week.
Honestly, at this point, I think China's just trying to find ways to ban media.
I mean, I'm with Razorfist. I think they are just going through their crackdown phase again.
Uh, right now, who knows what's gonna happen? Because you wanna know what else? Also, they banned. They banned anything with sissy males.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
So at this point, all media is just gonna be gone from China, and Hollywood will have to accept. Why did we try to appeal to these motherfuckers?
This, this is the difference between over there and over here. Over here, they tried to put sissy males in every part of our media. Over there, they just tried to ban media.
Yes,
Either
we are
way,
now.
it's getting us out of our own media.
Well, guys,
But but you gotta understand what's going on with like game or what kind of games that gets produced in China. They're usually what I like to
very
call
this,
busy work games. Games
yeah,
where you just basically you just do click around you like clicker games. You just do some mundane task and watch a bar grow and grow and grow. It's basically busy work. I mean, that's how I feel about level grinding on a lot of RPG games. So,
well, you have to. Well, you have to understand, Mike. They can't dream of anything better. I'm joking,
yeah,
of course. Wait.
as well as like loot boxes that make it grow faster, which you have to
Yeah.
pay for, and that's how they monetize some of this stuff. That's where you get some of your negative loot box practices, and it's designed to get people addicted to that sort of stuff. It's legit video game addiction, as much as I hate to use that term. So I think that's
Here's
part of the reason why they're kind of pushing for the only 3 hours per week.
to an extent, but also because China's just filled with bastards.
Yeah, it is. And plus,
Besides
they've
that,
also kind of conditioned their own population to have very poor impulse control.
you don't say.
So, so now I think they're just panicking and trying to manage it all once they realize that people with poor impulse control tend to get addicted very easily to some of the dumbest shit. As if
You
they
don't.
hadn't figured that out from the opium crisis.
You don't say.
Oh, jeez. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think we just spent way too much time on the other stuff. I could elaborate more, but yeah, we're sort of running out of time, and I'm kind of jonesing for a fun bag. So me and me and Exalted here are just gonna go off to freckle bitches.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys. You have